Ashes of New Terra. The twin suns of the Epsilon Eridani system painted New Terra's sky in shades of amber and gold. Children played in crystalline parks while farmers tended bioluminescent crops that glowed softly in the fading light. 2 million souls called this world home, humanity's first successful colony beyond the Sol system, a testament to 50 years of sweat, dreams, and determination. Captain Elena Vasquez stood on the observation deck of the orbital station Prometheus, watching cargo shuttles ferry supplies between the surface and waiting transport ships. At 43, she'd spent half her life in space, but New Terra always felt special. This wasn't just a colony. It was proof that humanity belonged among the stars. Captain, we're detecting multiple slipspace signatures, her communications officer announced. 12, no 20 contacts. Configuration unknown. Elena's pulse quickened. New Terra sat on the edge of known space, far from the established trade routes. Unexpected visitors were rare. Hail them. Standard first contact protocols. The reply came not in words but in fire. 20 warships of the Catherine Dominion materialized from slipspace like vengeful gods. Their hulls were obsidian black, carved with bioluminescent symbols that pulsed with malevolent intent. Without warning, without negotiation, without mercy, they opened fire. Plasma lances tore through Prometheus's shields as if they were tissue paper. Elena watched in horror as entire sections of her station vaporized, crew members she'd known for years scattered into the void. The screaming started immediately, over comms, through the corridors, in her own mind. All hands abandoned station. Get to the escape pods! Move, move, move! Below New Terra's surface erupted in flowers of nuclear fire. The capital city of New Hope vanished in seconds, its 200,000 residents gone before they could understand what was happening. The farms, the schools, the hospitals, all consumed by orbital bombardment that turned continents into seas of molten glass. Elena stumbled toward an escape pod, the station buckling around her. Through a viewport, she saw the Catherine flagship, massive, ancient, adorned with the skulls of 100 conquered species. Its main cannon charged with a sound like reality tearing, then fired directly into New Terra's core. The planet cracked like an egg. Elena's pod launched just as Prometheus exploded behind her. She tumbled through space, helpless, watching 2 million dreams die in fire and fury. The pod's automated systems activated the emergency quantum link transmitter, beaming everything her sensors recorded back to Earth across 47 light-years of space. Then darkness took her. 72 hours later, Earth stood silent. Every city, every nation, every human settlement from Mars to the Kuiper Belt observed the mourning period. Flags hung at half-mast. Screens displayed the names, all 2 million of them, scrolling endlessly. Parents clutched children. Strangers embraced in the streets. Humanity had reached for the stars and found only cruelty waiting in the dark. In Geneva, the United Earth Council convened an emergency session. Representatives from every nation, corporation, and off-world settlement filled the chamber. The air crackled with grief, rage, and something else, something cold and determined that humanity hadn't felt in generations. Admiral James Cortez stood before them, 78 years old but straight-backed as an iron rod. He'd fought in the resource wars, had helped unite Earth under one banner, had dreamed of peaceful expansion among the stars. Now those dreams lay in ashes. The Catherine Dominion, he began, his voice steady despite the storm raging in his chest, has sent us a message. They believe humanity is weak. They believe we are merchants and explorers, farmers and dreamers unworthy of the space we occupy. They believe that by destroying New Terra, they have taught us our place in the galactic order. He paused, letting the weight settle on every person in that chamber. They are wrong. Cortez activated a holographic display that filled the chamber with light. It showed star systems, hundreds of them, each marked with coordinates and tactical data. At each location, massive structures floated in the dark. Shipyards, assembly platforms, resource depots, hidden secret, waiting. 50 years ago, when we first detected signs of hostile alien civilizations, we made a choice. We would be explorers, yes, traders, absolutely, but we would also be prepared. Every nation contributed. Every resource network supported it. We called it the Armada Protocol. The display shifted, showing vessels of every configuration, carriers, destroyers, frigates, cruisers, support craft. They filled the hologram like a swarm of metal locusts, each one bristling with weapons designed by humanity's finest minds. 900,000 vessels, Cortez said quietly, built in secret across 5 decades, crewed by volunteers from every nation, powered by fusion cores that burn cleaner than the sun, armed with weapons that would make our ancestors weep. The chamber erupted. Some voices rose in shock, others in awe, many in grim satisfaction. Cortez raised his hand and silence fell like a guillotine blade. The Catherine wanted to erase us. They wanted to teach us fear. His eyes, still sharp despite his age, swept across the assembly. Instead, they have awakened something they should have left sleeping. They have reminded humanity what we become when cornered, what we achieve when united, what we unleash when those we love are taken from us. He straightened, shoulders squared, every inch the warrior humanity needed. They wanted to destroy our future. Let us show them humanity's past and present, and the terrible swift sword of our justice. Activate the Armada protocol, launch the fleet, and let the galaxy learn what it means to make an enemy of Earth. The vote was unanimous. Above Luna, in hidden berths carved into the moon's far side, the first wave of humanity's vengeance stirred to life. Engines ignited like a million newborn stars. 900,000 vessels, each one a promise carved in titanium and fury, began their journey into the dark. The Catherine Dominion had sown the wind. Now they would reap the storm. The storm descends. The Catherine Dominion celebration lasted 3 planetary rotations. On their homeworld of Catherine Prime, the Dominion's ruling caste gathered beneath bioluminescent spires that stretched kilometers into the crimson sky. Fleet Commander Zarketh, architect of New Terra's destruction, stood before the Council of 17, his chitinous exoskeleton polished to mirror brightness, his 4 eyes gleaming with triumph. The human infestation has been cleansed, he declared, mandibles clicking in satisfaction. Their pitiful colony burned like dry grass. They sent no reinforcements. They launched no counterattack. They are exactly what we suspected. Soft creatures playing at civilization unworthy of the territories they occupy. The council thrummed their approval, a sound like grinding stones. In Catherine culture, conquest wasn't merely encouraged, it was sacred duty. For 6,000 years, they had crushed 147 species, incorporating the useful, exterminating the weak. Humanity would be number 148. Their Earth transmits only morning signals. Intelligence Overseer Crathan added, her sensor stalks quivering with disdain. Grief broadcasts. Memorial services. They weep like hatchlings. Within a standard cycle, we will move on their soul system. It will fall without resistance. Zarketh raised his serrated forearm in salute. The Dominion expands, the weak are culled. This is the way of the cosmos. But even as the celebration continued, deep in the Intelligence Command Center, a junior analyst named Thirkol noticed something unusual. His monitoring station tracked slipspace disturbances across 17 sectors, standard procedure for detecting enemy fleet movements. The readings made no sense. Overseer, he called hesitantly, I'm detecting anomalies. Multiple slipspace signatures. Hundreds of them, thousands. They're human trade convoys fleeing, Crathan interrupted without looking up from her tactical display. Merchants abandoning the frontier. Expected behavior from a broken species. Respectfully, Overseer, the energy signatures are wrong. These aren't cargo vessels. These are military-grade slipspace drives. The quantum displacement readings are impossible, Crathan cut him off. Humanity possesses no military fleet. Our intelligence has monitored them for 50 cycles. They have orbital defense platforms, system patrol craft, nothing more. You're misreading civilian vessels. Thirkol wanted to argue, wanted to show her the data streams that painted a picture of something vast and terrible converging on Dominion space. But in Catherine culture, junior analysts who contradicted, their superiors rarely lived long. Enough to retire, he silenced his warnings and watched the readings climb. The 900,000 arrived like a biblical plague. They emerged from slipspace simultaneously across 17 Dominion core systems, a feat of quantum coordination that should have been mathematically impossible. One moment, Catherine space was empty. The next, it was filled with humanity's answer. The vessels came in waves. First, the scouts, sleek, adaptive craft that mapped every defensive position in microseconds. Then came the electronic warfare ships, broadcasting signals that turned Dominion communications into useless static. Carrier groups followed, each one disgorging wings of fighters that moved with inhuman precision, their AI pilots linked in quantum networks that made them think and react as one. Above Catherine Prime, Zarketh watched his celebration turn to ashes. The orbital defense platforms, ancient, powerful weapons that had repelled invasions for millennia, fired first. Plasma batteries that could vaporize capital ships lit up the void. The human fleet absorbed the barrage across distributed shields, each vessel sharing the load through quantum-linked defensive matrices. What should have destroyed thousands barely scratched hundreds. Then humanity returned fire. Not with the crude kinetic weapons or plasma lances the Dominion expected. These were weapons born from 50 years of secret research, forged in the fires of paranoia and preparation. Graviton disruptors that crushed ships into singularities, quantum torpedoes that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously, nanoswarms that consumed armor and circuitry like mechanical cancer. But most terrifying were the Mercy protocols. Human targeting systems identified life support sections, medical bays, escape pod trajectories. Weapons struck with surgical precision, disabling, not destroying. Ships found themselves crippled, powerless, but with crew intact. It was warfare, a statement: we could exterminate you. We choose not to. All fleets converge on Catherine Prime. Zarketh roared into his command channel. Protect the homeworld, for the Dominion. For a human voice cut through every Dominion frequency, calm and clear as Judgment Day. Attention, Catherine Dominion. This is Admiral James Cortez of the United Earth Fleet. You attacked New Terra without provocation. You murdered 2 million innocent souls. You believed humanity was weak, unprepared, unworthy of the stars we've claimed. On view screens across Dominion space, Cortez's face appeared, lined with age, hard with purpose, eyes burning with controlled fury. You were wrong on every count. We are 900,000 vessels strong. We are united as your species has never been. We possess technology you cannot comprehend, tactics you cannot counter, and a will forged in the fires you yourselves lit. But unlike you, we do not wage war for conquest. We fight for justice. Around Catherine Prime, the human fleet moved with balletic precision. Every defensive station fell silent within minutes. Dominion warships found themselves surrounded, outmaneuvered, outgunned by an enemy that fought with the cold efficiency of machines and the burning purpose of the righteous. You have one opportunity, Cortez continued. Surrender immediately. Submit to galactic tribunals for war crimes. Pay reparations to the families of New Terra. Accept permanent monitoring of your military capabilities. Or we will dismantle your civilization piece by piece until nothing remains but a cautionary tale whispered among the stars. Zarketh looked at his tactical display. 14 hours. That's how long the battle had lasted. 14 hours to break an empire that had stood for 6 millennia. His fleets were shattered. His defenses were rubble. His people were defenseless before an enemy that could exterminate them with a thought. But didn't. That, more than any weapon, broke his will. The Dominion, his voice cracked, mandibles trembling, surrenders. 3 months later, Captain Elena Vasquez stood on a hill overlooking the reconstruction of New Terra. They'd saved the planet, barely. Human engineering teams had stabilized the core, sealed the cracks, begun the long process of terraforming the scarred surface back to life. It would take decades, but humanity had time now. The memorial stretched across the valley below, 2 million names carved into synthetic diamond that would outlast the stars. Families visited daily, leaving flowers that grew in the alien soil, proof that life persisted even after unimaginable loss. Admiral Cortez stood beside her, older now, more tired, but still standing. The galaxy's talking, he said quietly. About the sleeping giants. About the humans who hide fleets in shadows and strike like thunder when roused. They fear us now, Elena nodded slowly. Is that what we wanted? To be feared? No, Cortez replied. We wanted to be left alone, to build, to explore, to dream. But the universe doesn't care what we want. It only respects what we can do. He gestured toward the memorial. 2 million people paid the price for that lesson. Now the galaxy knows humanity is builders first, explorers second, and warriors only when we must be. And what happens, Elena asked, when someone forgets that lesson? Cortez's smile was winter cold. Then 900,000 vessels remind them, and we pray we never have to show them what we're building next. Above them, human ships patrolled the rebuilt orbital stations. Defense platforms bristled with weapons that could glass continents. And deep in hidden berths across human space, new vessels were being born, each one a promise and a warning. The Catherine Dominion was now a monitored territory. Its war criminals facing justice, its people learning what humanity had always known. That strength without wisdom is tyranny, and tyranny eventually meets those who refuse to kneel. Earth had sent a message to the cosmos, written in fire and steel and mercy. We did not seek this war. We did not want this power. But we possess both now, tempered by loss, sharpened by necessity. We are humanity. We remember our fallen. We protect our own. And we will not be prey in the dark. Never again. The twin suns set over New Terra, painting the diamond memorial in light that looked almost like hope. And across the galaxy, civilizations watched, calculated, and decided that perhaps humanity, quiet, patient, surprisingly dangerous humanity, should be left to their corner of space. Some lessons, after all, only need to be taught once.